Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite part-time YouTuber, Crow, and we have another update on MrBeast threatening legal action against DogPack404 as he has been issued another cease and desist, this time a final warning, which is also saying that he is in violation of their confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. Now, I want to address that second part really quick because I don't actually understand how they can actually state he's in violation of their NDA, only because they've had their own employee, someone who claims that this guy worked on his team, stating that he was only there for a month and that he was talking about videos in which he had no direct involvement of. So I don't really understand what the NDA must look like for it to be that the former employees are not allowed to ever speak about MrBeast or even report on things that they are observing in his own video uploads after the fact, because that's what the majority of DogPack's video is about, right? He does say, hey, I used to work for MrBeast and these things were discussed at MrBeast. But they are in relation to him bringing up the fact that it sounds like they're engaging in, illegal lotteries. So the other part of a non-disclosure agreement is it cannot be used to cover up a crime. And that is something that DogPack404 is actually alleging in his video. Now, I don't know necessarily if that means that DogPack is allowed to speak openly about it, or DogPack just has the right to go to the police and report on it. But at the end of the day, I think the idea that you can hold him to an NDA when you already had his team lead come out and argue that he only worked there for a month and he wasn't directly involved in the videos that he was talking about. Like, this is what I meant, that MrBeast probably doesn't understand what he is doing, because if you're going to send these NDAs out, have Chucky delete his damn tweet. I mean, it's not going to help you, but at least you can say that this was tweeted in error, yada yada yada, something like. But having this remain up, just it makes your argument that he's in violation of an NDA with you kind of stupid, right? Because your guy already came out and said he only worked for you for a month and that he wasn't directly involved in the videos he's reporting on. And if you watch his own video, just to be clear, the majority of the information that he is giving us comes from him just observing MrBeast upload content, which anyone can do. So like I said in my video yesterday, it's very obvious to me that they don't know what they are doing over at MrBeast in relation to DogPack. I think that they were hoping that the cease and desist get him to shut up. When that didn't work, we may actually have their plan B. This is from DogPack404. Also, my number got leaked, apparently from a MrBeast employee named Kaylee. I've been getting texts from former MrBeast employees. Text I received last night claims that James wants to have private investigators start following me and looking into my family's social media accounts to find ways to discredit me. Apparently the best narrative they have right now is that I'm a crazy, drug-addicted MrBeast superfan that got fired for trying to steal company funds. If this text is true, I will say, MrBeast, if you want to resort to personal attacks, I'm happy to reciprocate, or, just address the evidence. Now, in my thought process, I was thinking, do they really have any cards to play here? Because you can directly deny the claims that are being made, but I don't understand how Jimmy can do that when he is waiting for, when after this video goes up, Jimmy goes through and starts scrubbing his Facebook, scrubbing his YouTube channel, getting rid of certain streams where he's engaged in activities that clearly look to resemble what an illegal lottery, like the actual definition of it is. And he can't own up to it, because the minute he owns up to it, it's not just facing his fans. Most of this stuff is like, FTC violations, federal violations. It's a big deal. It's not a small thing that he can just go, oopsie doopsie guys, I'm sorry, my bad, won't ever happen again. But I guess you also have the route of trying to discredit the person that is actually coming forward. There's a saying, and I know I'm going to get it wrong here, but it's like, if you can't attack the evidence, attack the source, right? Like, if you can't actually actually engage with what you are being accused of, just try to discredit your accuser. And it is a tried and true tactic. It's just, I don't understand how that really works. Now, again, these texts are allegedly from MrBeast employees who are telling him this stuff. I don't know if it's true or false, because again, if you had a MrBeast employee leak out your phone number, you'd be contacted by all types of random individuals. So it would be interesting to find out if this who this Kaylee person is, and if they actually did leak his phone number out to people. Because I'm pretty sure at that point, MrBeast is like the actual company, the brand, is engaged in behavior that also can land Jimmy in some trouble. Let me read through these alleged texts. Dude, has anyone at Beast contacted you about the post you're making? I've been reading the NDA over to see what I can and can't post because I'd like to move on with my life and try having some type of social media presence. Not planning on ever mentioning I worked at Beast, but it got out, or somehow, some way I actually mentioned it. I wanted to make sure I was going to get sued at all hell. Also, if you're just going to post my message for proof you worked at Beast, I don't care. Just don't show my number. You can save it how you want. Also, I got your number from Kaylee. I don't have access to anything Beast like Slack or anything. Obviously, I'm not a Beast employee. I'm a former employee. Someone else I know told me they texted you on Reddit talking about Kaylee and Leroy. I'm not that person, and I won't mention any current or former Beast employees because of NDA. Now, the next message says, Dawson, I'm texting you anonymously to let you know that I heard James wants to have private investigators start following you and looking into every detail of your life. He wants them to reach out to your former employers, find all your social media accounts, your family's social media accounts, videos of you, anything. They already have a Google Doc listing possible ways to discredit you, including you're on drugs, and have mental health problems, your mom is bipolar, you were an obsessed superfan, you were crying, begging for your job back after they fired you, you tried to steal company funds, etc. Now, real quick, I don't think I don't think it matters whether or not that's true, only because it in no way addresses anything in DogPack's video, right? Like, let's say DogPack really is an obsessed superfan, and let's say he's on drugs and he has mental health problems. Then it's doubly impressive, the video that he put together, okay? Like, it's even more impressive, the video he put together. But even if you want to make the argument, he just wants revenge because you fired him and he begged you for his job back, but you still got rid of him. Okay, so he's on a revenge arc. Like, I'm not sure that any of that does anything to discredit the video. And if you have MrBeast employees coming out and stating all of these things, like I said, this tweet by Chucky, it was idiotic to an extreme degree. And if anything, I think it's going to hurt a lot of what the MrBeast crew could actually claim in a court case against DogPack, assuming that it goes that far. I honestly don't think that they would sue, only because I'm not entirely certain what the benefit of doing so would be. For one, you're going to get no money out of DogPack. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. Obviously, the amount of money that you would claim against this guy, he's not going to be able to pay you. So I guess you could try to send him to the poorhouse, but all that's going to do is put a gigantic magnifying glass on everything MrBeast, even more than what is currently on them right now. And the minute it's in court, all he has to do is start directly stating these things and putting it into public record. Like, that's not going to help him. So I guess the idea of trying to get other people to discredit him makes more sense. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see like a random YouTuber, somebody, like, when I say random, somebody with a decent sized following coming out and exposing DogPack for all the things that this text message claims. I mean, I would assume that that's the way you would go, because if anyone at MrBeast comes out and says this stuff, then it's like, okay, well, why aren't you addressing the claims? like that would be the very first thing that gets said. Why aren't you guys actually addressing the claims in the video? Why are you telling me that this guy's mom has bipolar? Anyways, the next part of the video is just the person and him engaging in a text back and forth, which I mean, it's kind of silly, but he does talk about the whole drug use and the stealing company funds and what it could be related to. You guys can pause the screen and read it. it seems very it seems not to matter. Like I'm sorry, like don't get me wrong, like I don't personally care that this guy did shrooms. Like a lot of people that I know have done it at one point. Like I don't think anyone cares. If he's doing it on the job, well, then you have cause to fire him. But if you got rid of him for stealing company funds or whatever, according to him, I don't think that that's true. Like I mean, it's what you had to explain to me how he was stealing the company funds. Like, because I guess that would mean Dogpack is also a bad person, but it doesn't mean Jimmy or MrBeast are good people. It doesn't mean that any of the things that he's been accused of is suddenly becomes untrue. So I don't know. I think that if this is really the approach that they will go for, it makes more sense than the lawsuit, because at the end of the day, even though we can say things like, hey, you're attacking the source, you're not actually attacking the evidence, you're attacking the source, you're not actually addressing the claims being made. I mean, it does play well to people that just want to engage in drama farming and only want to go and pick teams and play sides. But outside of that, I'm not sure it's going to be very effective at all, because at the moment, MrBeast is being side-eyed for the stuff with Chris Tyson, and a lot of people are looking at him wondering, hey, why were you letting these things happen? Hey, how did you let these things happen? Hey, why were you hanging out in that Discord server with those kids? Like, you have more people ready to pounce and jump down your back right now. So I don't understand how going through the effort of trying to discredit the guy, listen, if his video is fake, you need to actually address the evidence. And that is it. Anyways, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments section. I just think that Jimmy is like lost on this one. And here's the thing. When you're a wounded animal, like that's pretty dangerous, because you will lash out and you will bite and you will tear into anybody that comes near you. And maybe that's what Jimmy feels like right now. He's wounded. He's definitely wounded. This is the biggest controversy, not so much Dogpack, but right now Jimmy is in the biggest controversy he has ever been in. And then on top of that, Dogpack comes in looking for a pound of flesh. So yeah, like lashing out and going this direction, I guess on some level it makes more sense. But I think that this is ultimately going to backfire and just going to draw even more attention to Dogpack.